to these few minutes of meditation time that we have together, I would invite you just to get comfortable, to allow your eyes to gently close or just kind of cast them down to the ground. And let's just really settle in to this moment. Just let go of whatever busyness that you were doing just right before this moment. Let go of any anticipation that you've already had about the busyness of tomorrow or the days to come. And really, as your body settles into the space where you are, let it settle into this moment. And as you're settling, just begin to notice your breath. Just a calm, even in and out breath. Almost like you're trying to usher yourself into this present moment by the way that you're breathing with intention. And then just check in with yourself. Get into the habit of just pausing and saying, how do I feel right now? People ask us that all the time, multiple times in a day for some of us. And usually we give the cursory fine and we go about our business, but we should get in the habit of checking in with ourselves, almost as if you're asking, how are you? You've had an encounter, you've had something in traffic, you've had busyness, you've had all the things. And when those things happen, just pause and just ask yourself, how are you doing? Because number one, it is an act of compassion and it is a step to becoming more self-aware. But number two, if we don't ask ourselves and we're waiting for someone else to ask us, how will we ever get to validate and verbalize how we feel? We'll just stuff it down until eventually it comes out. So what if we could get in the habit of just asking ourselves on a regular basis, how are you doing? So today is a special day on the calendar for so many, Mother's Day. And I know that across this world, there are those of us who have incredible and compassionate and loving relationships with our mothers, and there are those of us that do not. There are those of us who have communication on a regular basis with our mothers, and those that do not. There are those that look fondly on their childhood and the memories that they have, and there are those that do not. But regardless of the relationship that you have or you had or that you don't, there's this one thing about motherhood that binds all of us together, and it's not a Hallmark day on the calendar. It is the fact that there was a mom who right before you were born made the choice that the world needed you. She made a choice that the world needed you. And I've always thought of motherhood from that perspective because my own mother, with whom I did have a loving and wonderful relationship, and I was so very blessed, but she found out that she was having me when she was a sophomore in high school, 16 years old when I was born. And in the 1960s in the South, it was not the most popular position to be in for a young girl. So there were pressures on all sides coming toward her. But she decided that the world needed me, that I deserved to have the breath in my lungs and a chance to impact this world. And so she made a choice. And here I came. And while each of our stories is not like that, they're not all about a young girl who really is having to make a conscious choice about a life. At the end of the day, we all came onto this earth. We all took that first breath because someone brought us forth. And again, it's not about the relationship you had as you were growing up. It's not about the relationship you have now. It is about the fact that you came to this earth just as I did, breath in your lungs, with a purpose. And some of us live for decades and decades before we finally begin to understand what that purpose is. Some understand it a little sooner. But we each have a unique contribution to this world. There's not another Kelly. There's not another you. There's some purpose that I am meant to serve that no one else will serve it. And there's some purpose that you are meant to serve that no one else will serve. And so I love to think about Mother's Day as what an honor it is that she chose and made the choice that the world needed me. And what I would invite you to do is think of your birth the same way. Again, don't get it tied up in the memories that you would describe as good or bad, or the relationship that you would categorize a certain way, but just think of it as you came into this world with breath in your lungs and a purpose in your soul. That's what made her a mother. Your appearance on this earth. And I would not even begin to tell you that I've honored every part of her gift to bring me into life with every decision I've ever made. I've fallen. I've made mistakes. But there have been more days than not that I have felt gratitude within me for this life that I've been given. And now I could say, further along down this practice journey that I'm on, that you're on, it's not just a matter of more days, there's more hours in each day when I feel gratitude for this life that I've been given. So what if we turn Mother's Day into true gratitude that first breath came to us, and now the world gets to benefit from our purpose, our contribution. So let's just sit for just a moment here, just for these next few breaths, and just see if you could reframe how you see Mother's Day with maybe that layer of what a gift your life is. And then as we continue to sit together, let's ask ourselves those soul questions that I've posed before, but in this new light of kind of adding this layer to how we see Mother's Day as a day to honor the life that we were given. Let's check in with those soul questions and see if maybe a little more clarity has begun to come. The first question says, who am I? Who am I? At the core of my being, in the deepest part of my soul, who am I? It's not the labels, it's not the titles, it's not the surname, it's not the family. It's you. Who am I? And the second soul question, ask, what do I want? What is my deepest heart's desire? What do I want? And then the third question says, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? What is my unique contribution to this world that no one else can fulfill? What is my purpose? And then the last question, ask, what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? And collectively, I've given us some things to think about when it comes to our gratitude. But those other three questions, the answers don't just readily come. They're not just clear because we sit in meditation. But this practice asks us just to keep asking. Asking the questions and being open to whatever is revealed. Sometimes we ask the question is what is my purpose? And we begin to make a list in our head and we think of all the things that we're doing, all the things with which our hands are engaged and our time is spent. But I think that question is asking us something a little bit bigger. It's not what do you do? It's not what are you good at? It's asking us what is your purpose? When you wake up in the morning and there is breath in your lungs, what is the contribution that you have to this world that is unique from everyone else's? And it doesn't have to be this kind of purpose that we compare against the likes of Mother Teresa or Gandhi or other figures in our history who've done really big things with their purpose. We all have a corner of the world that we impact. What is our purpose? And so let's just sit with these questions, with this idea of being so very grateful for the life that we've been given, the chance that we have to take these breaths one at a time, because someone chose to bring us into this world and give us life. And maybe she made mistakes after that, and maybe she was great, and maybe she was a little bit of both. But someone chose for us to have life, and here we are. So let's just sit with these other questions, just kind of hanging in the air around us, holding space. And don't try to answer them. Don't try to force a list. But just notice what comes across your mind when those questions are asked. What rumbling do you feel in your spirit when those questions are asked? What energy do you feel moving through your body when those questions are asked? So as we sit together, continuing to breathe and asking the questions of who am I? What do I want? And what's my purpose? And as you continue to breathe, if it feels right, it feels comfortable, just bring one hand and place it on your heart. Almost as a symbol of just tucking these questions inside of us. And as we go about our business in the coming days, just let the questions continue to sit with you. And begin to notice synchronicities around you. Begin to notice things in nature. Begin to notice the things that come across your path. And see if any of those are connected to these soul questions. And so as you just kind of hold your hand to your heart, let's just tuck them there. The question of, who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? And what am I grateful for? And maybe we can all commit right here together that we'll be grateful that there was a woman who took a chance. And maybe she was scared, maybe she was in a loving and nurturing family, and maybe she was not. But she took a chance. And here we came. We took a breath. And the gift of us was given to this world. And she became a mother. And we received a purpose. And we may still, decades later, not quite understand what that purpose is. But let's honor the gift of this life that we have. With all the parts that don't seem to work. With all the wishes. With all the struggles. With all the celebrations. Be grateful for it all. And let's honor the breath that we took that very first day, and honor the breath that still comes to us right here, right now. Namaste.